Hey, welcome to the Tunepact Podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Leigh Pierce, and today we're going to be talking about rebranding. What do you do when you go from a group to being a solo artist? Or just start playing around with a new genre of music? So, today in the studio, we've got Jalil.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jalil Lucky. I myself am a hip-hop artist from the Midwest. I kind of do a lot of different things: marketing, branding, music, art, all different types of stuff like that. Editing, whatever you want to call it. If it's marketing, I probably do it.
All right, so you recently moved from being in a group to being a solo artist. Why'd you decide to go solo?
So really, going solo was kind of a two-parter. People's lives change, people grow up, become adults, have families and things like that. So the group kind of broke apart. And then, then I started doing my own music, putting out my own stuff for a little bit. And then by the time it came around to actually start doing music with other people and maybe potentially forming another group or joining another group, I just decided not to do it because I was just having more fun doing my own thing. I like making my own music, having my own sound, entering competitions and stuff like that I just have more fun doing that. So I stay solo.
Now, you're a marketing guy. That's how we met, going to school for marketing. So on the marketing side of that, do you find it easier or more difficult marketing as a solo artist as compared to being in a group?
Got you. I guess I was saying for myself, I find it more fun being solo. I guess there's pros and cons to both. When you're solo, like we talked, you get a lot more freedom to do the things that you want to when it comes to marketing, so you can take more chances and not have to worry about necessarily the backfire other than just from your fan base. And if they like you enough, your fan base will stick with you, And
it gives you the freedom of, you get 3 o'clock in the morning, you get a good idea for a promo video. You could get up, shoot it, edit it, and already have it posted where you ain't got to send out an email or a message and wait 100%. For 4 or 5 people to get back to you, approve what you want to do.
Or show up.
It could be 2 weeks later. And instead you got it done 20 minutes and you're back in bed.
Yeah, that is the other thing. Working within a team, the more people you have on your team, the slower things start to go, because like you said, everybody has to approve something, do something, has a job that needs to get done. So over time, it can be definitely more efficient. But when you're working by yourself, you get to just cut through all of the BS. You don't have to worry about anybody yeses or nos except for yours. So, but then everything is on you too. So if it doesn't work,
there's no fall guy.
It's all on you. It's your fault. You can only point this finger at yourself. So
we learn more from our failures, they say, though.
Yeah,
that's why I'm so smart.
Definitely,
that's why I'm so smart.
Definitely. But when you are marketing in a group, things can go really fast because you do have tons of media, tons of word of mouth, tons of people to really talk about all of the things you're doing, because you can release a song and your friend can release a song and then you guys feature on a song. Now you have that crossover from fan bases, and then now that person's fans are checking for your music, your fans are checking for their music, they post your solo songs on their page, yada yada yada.
And that web grows because everybody in a band, no matter who they are or what the genre is, has their own fan base outside of the band.
Right.
That people, it could be a guitar player's like this guitar player really good,
right?
Right down to the what the musician does. So then you've got that fan base that you're also get to be a part of, because they're going to get to experience what you're putting out there. But like you said, does that make it worth all the hassle of having to battle with other people's ideas? And us creative types, we're not fun to work with.
No.
We're not. We're disagreeable.
Yeah.
We're stubborn.
Yeah.
So, having that web and that access to that bigger network, which that's all any creative outlook in marketing, it's all about a network.
Yes.
And is having the access to that network of people and that larger web worth
all the
headaches
right.
and the time constraints that it puts on
right.
trying art, especially like you spend so much time writing and creating the song. Now you got to take that even more time than what it took to market the idea
and put it out there.
So having to do that and split that between how many people and getting permissions, do you think, is it worth it?
But I guess like everything, there's nuance, and for different artists, there's different things. I say in general though, it's only worth it if you really, really, if you really, really care about what you are trying to create, like on a very, very deep level, and you have like this goal that you're trying to reach, and you need a team to do it.
Yeah.
If you have that like type of conviction or whatever, and it's just you got to get it, do it. On the other side, I would say though, if you have that ambition to like grow and really like the people that you work with, if you have a group of people that you came up with and you guys really trust each other and you guys can really like be honest with each other, be that soundboard for each other, and really like be a good group together, then it's worth it, because you're already going to go through that headache anyway, because those are your boys, that's your family, that's when you really are locked in with people, then I would say it's worth it, because your relationship can already handle a lot. So if you guys both have that conviction, you're both music artists, you're both really trying to get there, I think the conviction and the love you guys have for each other will outweigh all of the BS that you go through, know. But if you don't have those things and you're just like, I'm just doing music to do music, or, you're just kind of here, don't invest in a team if you don't before you're ready for it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a time where a team is necessary, but don't do it before you're ready for it. Maybe one person, maybe an assistant of some sort, some type of manager, maybe like it could be a marketing manager, or it could be, just a manager who follows you around, books you shows, or whatever type of person, a photographer, whatever. Maybe if that's it, cool. But don't join a group with somebody. Don't start rapping with somebody. Don't start, Don't just jump into that before you're ready, because the headache isn't not worth it.
Not worth it. Did you find it really freeing, especially because you're a creative guy? Like, you've got your toe in so many things. Like, you rap, you do movies, you do podcasts, you write, you do art. So like, you got so many different creative outlets, and I see I hate the term outside the box, but like you're real creative, kind of out there with some of your ideas. Is it really freeing, especially when it comes to the marketing side of these? Because you're a marketing guy too.
Yeah.
So
really
marketing the music your projects are as much. Sometimes you create stuff just to market because you got a good idea.
Yeah, 100%. I hear a beat, I'll start listening to a song, and like I listen to a lot of like instrumentals and just YouTube beats and stuff like that when I'm making music. And a lot of times the reason I will start writing a song is because I heard the beat and I could picture the music video already.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, it would be so dope if okay, this is what I'm writing about, So 100%. I definitely really enjoy the creative part about it. And it is, like you said, freeing to be able to market things however I want to. And a lot of times it is about the marketing. I enjoy creating like music and writing songs and stuff. And that feels good. But honestly, the best part about it is after it's done and I put it all out and I can go perform it, and it just has a life of its own, and it's just doing its thing, and I could just like be like yada 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 yada, do my thing, perform, and then it's just going. That is the best part. Being on the stage, really, I love being on the stage. I love performing and just being able to just rap and stuff. That is a great part, and to me, that's marketing. Like, to me, like, nobody can tell your message the way you can tell your message.
Exactly.
We're all a brand, especially nowadays. Like, your Facebook, your Instagram accounts, all of those things. You're a brand everywhere you go, even if you're not trying to be famous.
Everything you're doing, you need
everything.
You need to be networking.
100%.
If you're interacting with anyone outside of your own, whoever lives in your house, you need to be networking.
Literally, if you work at Walmart, people, you need to be networking. If you work at Speedway, you need to be network. I don't care which. If you're homeless, network. It's like,
yes.
like today it's impossible. You have to have a network of people. Now you don't have to have them directly connected to you as a team, where you guys are maybe communicating every day and your livelihood and their livelihood are intertwined. But, at least to the point where it's like, you got this group of people where it's like, hey, I need this. And they're like, I'm already on my way.
Yep.
Exactly. And vice versa. Definitely.
All right, so you touched on a little bit about talking about how the project feels completed on the stage. My question regarding that would be, with the marketing side of it, where does marketing end? Like, do you see marketing as its own entity? Like, that's what you see online. So, because there's really no print ads, there's no TV no more. It's all digital marketing now. There is no just plain marketing. And do you see that marketing stops when the digital ends? Or do you see... does marketing end when you're on stage? Does marketing end when you're walking around in one of your own T-shirts?
Right.
Where does marketing end and promotion end when it comes to music and the artist?
So I would say as the artist, as the music maker in hip hop, I would say for me at that point, the marketing stops after I'm off the stage, as the music maker side. And because, that's kind of like the joy I got. And that's how I started making music, was just the joy of making music. So yeah, on the music maker artist side, I would say it stops on the stage, because that was my job, was to come and perform and to write my art and to perform it to people so everybody can understand where I'm coming from, hear me, and I get all of the benefits from that too, from their attention and whatever. So for me, it stops there. But then on the marketing side, it honestly kind of never stops. It never stops, because like the marketer, like if I was working with an artist, you know what I mean, and I'm managing them, I'm going to be there when they came up with the idea for the song, for the album, for everything, for the videos, for when they were going to the studio, before the tour was even a thing, before all that, and every point of the way I was check such and such out and I'm dropping a Facebook post, I'm taking a picture, I'm shooting this video, even it's whatever it is. The marketer is always there with you every step of the way. And then when you step off a stage, the artist's job is done. But now the marketer is responsible for like, oh dang, these 400,000 fans all just have these Instagram videos and all this content is coming up about everything that you just did. Now the marketer is responsible for guiding the message to make sure your brand still stays consistent. You know what I mean? And then if something starts going on based off, maybe you did something in a show that people really loved and the whole internet's going crazy about it, but you're not the type to be on the internet. Your marketer is the person, hey, what's up? What's up, Leigh?
You need some fan interaction.
Exactly. You need to talk to these people. They loving everything you've been doing. You got to talk
on
to
social
them,
media and start talking to people. Whether it's when you're walking off the stage or commenting on the replying to their comments on your posts.
Right. Exactly.
People fans want to feel, everyone needs to be a part of something that's bigger than themselves.
Definitely.
Whether it's a sports team or a band that you like, it's important to feel that. And when you get to interact with an artist, I mean, no matter how big you are as an artist, there's another artist that you're like, man, you wouldn't believe it when I met them. Like, I mean, I love seeing like big name celebrities like just like freeze up in the, when they meet somebody else, because like no matter who you are, you're a fan.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, and if you're not, I don't understand it, because how do you go through life without being a fan? Just like, you got to enjoy what's around you. So yeah, I love seeing that, because like there's always somebody you're looking up to. So when you get off that stage, you've got to network, because those fans want to feel that. They want to feel like they're part of that. Because I mean, every artist that we look up to, that we have our whole lives, they were a fan of somebody else. And there was an artist that touched them, that said after a show, email, maybe just a letter, a phone call, something that got them to make them like, you know what, maybe I could do this. Mm-hmm. Maybe I can do this. Reaching out, you never know who you're creating next. You know, so I think the fan interaction is just, it's so important and it's so easy nowadays.
For an artist, that's customer service.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way.
For artists, that's customer service, you know, and I love that. For me, like, I get in that part, like, when the job is done, that is like, I see it as a job, but I don't. But like just talking to people and just, you know, doing my thing, that's just what I do normally, you know. So when I usually, like in the past, like that's how it is. When I get off the stage and I walk around and people are like, oh yeah, yada yada, and we kick it, chop it up or whatever. They buy me a drink, I buy them a drink or whatever it is, you know what I mean? And then we chop it up, I talk with managers and stuff like that, and then we start getting the next plays set up, you know? And it's like, oh, I love the song that you did. We should work together. You know what I mean? Feature me on this, or I got this track that I'm coming up. I'm gonna have my producer send you all the info and everything, you know? And then, you know, and then you can, you know, go meet the fans, take pictures. They post you on their Snapchats and stuff like that. Look who I'm with, you know, stuff like that, you know? And, you know, and for me, that's like, it's just second nature. You know, it's something that you have to do. It should be something that is highlighted, definitely. That should be something that a lot of artists pay attention to. And in the social media age that we're in, it kind of goes, it is very prevalent, but it kind of goes unnoticed because regular people are just becoming famous.
Yeah.
You know, but those people, you wouldn't, like maybe once they got famous, you would tell them, hey, you need to check in with your fans. But you normally wouldn't tell them that because they're regular people.
Yeah.
You know, like they are checked in with their fans.
But that also shows
person.
One bad fan interaction can do a lot of damage if you're not on social media
paying attention to
it.
100%. 100%. Definitely.
So since you moved from being in a group to doing solo, I mean, you've got a lot of other side projects, so you've done a lot of the marketing stuff on your own anyways. You know, you don't have, because when you're doing, whether it's films or your manga or your art or what, you don't have a team. So this is, correct. It's all falls on you, which is fun anyways, because then you get to do it, you steer whatever direction, go as far out as you want. So, what obstacles have you found, though, with moving from a group to being the solo? Because, I mean, you've done a lot of the solo yourself with your other projects, but on the music side, on the musician side, what have you noticed that was a little more difficult?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one of the biggest obstacles, and if I'm being honest, there's a lot of, in a lot of the fields that I'm in, working with people, I found myself, like, I took a break from music for, like, I don't know, like 6 years. Yeah. Like, in terms of writing. Like, I wasn't really writing. I was still involved in music, and I was working with artists and things like that. I was working with producers and stuff, but I just wasn't writing music. But I think part of the biggest obstacle of that was that I didn't have like a sounding board. I didn't have that constant like competition like in hip hop. Hip hop is very competitive, you know. So when I was in a group, every time I heard somebody do something good, I wanted to do something good, you know, or I wanted to get that edge, or we would freestyle and something like that. And I'm like, dang, hold on, he could really rap. So now I need to get, you know, like.
Well, it's the only genre that having somebody mad at you could be the best thing for your career. So a lot of artists, their best tracks ever are diss tracks that are directly would not even have happened if they liked everybody. It's got to be the only genre that you can, not being good, you know what I mean, can come up with the best stuff.
And you could really win. Yeah, you could start out like 50 Cent. He's hit one of his first songs, a song that made him famous, was just dissing every single famous rapper that he could find.
Everybody.
Like all, literally. So yeah, 100%. It's
get on a radar, man. Start pinging. I mean,
you know, I definitely thought about that. Like, just come out. If I was going to diss rappers, if I'm a diss popular rappers, though, it just need to be clever though. It's got to be something really clever, because like 50 Cent was a jack boy. Like, he used to steal from people. So he, in this song, it was very easy for him to be like, hey, I'm not saying I would rob you, but if I were going to, this is how I would do it. And then he's like, 300 pounds of pure muscle, so ain't nobody gonna say anything to him about it. They're not gonna, if I start rapping at rappers, they gonna shoot me.
So that's one negative to not having a group with you.
That's it, yeah.
Somebody to hide behind.
I ain't got no support. I got no support. I gotta hire all my security and everything like that. They're not gonna mess with the Wu-Tang Clan just because there's 9 of them. But they'll pull up on Jay-Z. It's only one Jay-Z. Like, so that's always a thing. But, and then really, I guess another like obstacle that you run into is like just being alone. Like, there's so much work that you have to do. And it's like, it can be very like daunting, you know, it can be something that you don't want to deal with, and you can push it off, and then, you know, that's how you take breaks for so long. But yeah, that could be a really hard thing to deal with, and creating writer's block and all of that stuff, that just the anxiety and all that stuff starts to push back on your mental. And
you don't have somebody keeping you in check and holding you accountable.
When
you've got somebody like, hey, no, you know what, you were supposed to post. You're supposed to post every Wednesday about what's upcoming, about what our next gig is, or what, just, you know, keeping an update for the fans. And, you know, if you don't have somebody saying, you need to do this, you need to do this, it's hard.
It falls off. Yeah, definitely.
Especially, you know, everybody's got full-time jobs too.
Right.
So trying to squeeze everything in together and still have time for your passion, it's hard. So
that's so true. That's very true. Yeah, I would say those two are probably like the biggest like obstacles. There's like other minor things, but I think that, you know, if you really have like a love and joy for what you're doing, and you market it right, you know, like, I think you'll be able to overcome like the minor stuff, you know, like people saying crazy stuff to you on the internet, or, you know, and, you know, not having that support system. Yeah. And, you know, or that like barrier, you know, to try and keep it all away, or, you know, keeping yourself accountable, like you said, or, you know, remembering to post, and, you know, because sometimes you could be very consistent, and then you just be like, oh, damn, I was supposed to drop the video at this time and it didn't work, you know, and you know, and it could just be minor stuff like that. You know, sometimes you could be working yourself too hard.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's another thing. Like, you could work so hard and you just like burn yourself out because you don't have anybody else to throw the work off onto, you know.
And when that happens, the last thing you want to do is be on social media.
Right.
Because there's always negativity, no matter how you try to avoid it. And that's the worst thing for an artist, is to have to take time away from social media, because that's your lifeline to your fans. And to, I mean, like we said, there is no marketing. It's just digital marketing nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
So when you have to do that, that is rough.
Yeah.
Well, and like, that's the thing. It's easier for guys like me and you, though, because not just artists, but we're marketing guys and marketing fans.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we enjoy marketing. You know, we're nerds. We research marketing. we have favorite commercials that we freaking text each other back and forth. You know, literally. I mean, so it's easier for us because we like the marketing side of it. And I mean, well, so you were, I mean, a marketing fan when you went to school for marketing. It was something you knew you wanted to do anyways. And as an artist in so many disciplines and genres, that you knew it was going to help you. And do you think your background in marketing and your love for marketing helps you as an artist in general? I mean, it's kind of obvious, but like, I kind of like to hear your take on it.
I mean, definitely. I love that question, because it does, like, knowing how something works, you know, will definitely help you do that thing better. Yeah. You know, and there's so many different aspects to what it is to be an artist, you know, so you can kind of find your way through that by learning the rules of the game and paying your dues, and like really learning like how some of these artists, you know, really became who they are. You know, because like one of my favorite artists is Ice Cube, you know what I mean? Like, and a lot of kids growing up may not even know Ice Cube was ever a rapper.
Same with like Ice-T. They're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Right,
you mean
yeah.
that cop from Law and Order?
Literally. And Ice-T made one of the hardest
New Jack Hustler body count,
bro, some of the hardest stuff.
Like,
so like,
man.
you know, but like that's what I'm saying. Like these artists that I looked up to growing up, even like Snoop Dogg and just all of these artists, even like 50 Cent and all these just crazy artists who they started as rappers, but like they're business people.
Yeah.
They're marketers. They're, you know, like they're actors and writers and singers and all of this stuff. They own their own businesses in multiple different industries. Like Snoop Dogg has his own just like smoking lines, and he has his own clothing brands.
He has everything, man.
Yeah, he has his own movie companies, his own production companies. He has drink companies. He has stuffed animals. Like he has everything. Like same thing, 50 Cent and Dr. Dre and all these people, you know, like, and that's what I'm saying. Like music is great. I love making music, but music has always been like a therapy for me. You know, it's always been a way for, I'm having an issue, I need to do this. Marketing is where I like really learned to fall in love with everything about the world. You know what I mean? Like that's where I really like found my passion, like learning how to push that stuff out. And that just kind of just changed my whole mindset when it came to it. Because now, like, I go and edit a video and stuff like that. And I'm not saying I know it's just going to be an instant banger, but I know what's not going to work. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I can hear the negatives, and I'm like, this don't sound right. This isn't. And I don't want to overproduce anything. You know, like, it's always like, this is where it needs to be. Maybe there's some mistakes in here. Screw it. Let it go. It's let it go.
And it gives you more freedom too, because if it's a little unpolished, people expect a little less sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
right,
in a good way, though. It takes some of the pressure off.
Definitely,
if you've got a track that you're like unsure of, you're like, everyone tells you it's good, but you're not happy with it, but it's polished, produced just beautifully. Sometimes it makes it sound worse to yourself because you're like, I don't match up with what you guys did too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, how great you think it is. Which is fair, you know. So, and that's kind of like, I watch another artist, and one of the things he said, he's a producer, but one of the things his motto is, don't overthink it. Yeah. You know, and like I kind of like really took that to heart, you know. So for me, it's just like I'm writing short songs, or I'm just on a feature, or, you know, stuff like that. Not trying to overthink it, make good music, put stuff out, stay consistent, you know, and then that will, and you know, which is funny because the whole reason I'm writing a manga, the whole reason I'm making music, the whole reason I'm doing all this stuff is to give myself a marketing project.
Yeah,
like exactly. The whole reason is like, I just want to write a manga to see if I can market it good. Like that's the only
awesome.
reason I want to do it. Like,
well, and like, I mean, marketing plays such a huge role, and you'll see a lot of bands. And I've never heard them admit to it, but like, you know, deep down when you'll see a band like all of a sudden kind of switch genres a little bit. Not like kind of nothing big, but not real gradually. All of a sudden you're like, wow, this album sounds completely different. It's because they found out what metrics and analytics were. All this time, they thought they had a target market. And they had no idea. Then all of a sudden they're looking, they're like, oh, wow, we were way off. Who's been listening to our music? We had no idea who our fan base was. Oh, man. I mean, I know of bands that this has happened to. They're like, all of a sudden, you're like, why does this album have a little more country rock sound to it?
It's like we're playing the wrong four chords.
They had no idea who their target market even was. They're like, oh, well, let's start doing that.
Yeah, that's very true, though. A lot, and that's very common in hip hop as well. A lot of artists will they'll make music, and hip hop it's weird. And maybe it's like this in other genres. I don't know, but like hip hop is very, very regional. Yes, like New York hip hop is very different than LA hip hop, but I don't know if I'm not saying it isn't, but I just don't know if rock in the Midwest is that much different than rock in the West Coast, or country in the South is
It's
that much different
every
than
genre is like that.
country.
It's all got a regional feel to it.
Okay, that makes sense. So like, which makes sense because like bluegrass is definitely a Southern thing. Like,
Yeah.
So yeah,
exactly.
That's definitely a Southern thing. But yeah, like hip hop is like so regional that I forgot my original point. But
talking about the artists changing when they find out who their metrics and analytics actually.
That's a lot of artists will they'll start making music, and it's like they'll find out that like their whole, even though they live in Chicago, their whole fan base is in California.
Yeah.
So or it's in a whole just another part. So you
got to change up a little bit.
Yeah, they'll start making
I'm going to go with
just a little different, like
a West Coast sound, a little more.
100%.
Same. Well, you see that a lot. I think any genre, though, all of a sudden you're like, wow, this album seems a little lighter, more easy listening than the last one. You find out they found out their target is 20 years older than they thought. They thought they were marketed to 30 to 40 years old. They found out it's 55 and up. They're like, we need to lighten this up a little bit. And all of a sudden, all their other fans are like, why is this the best selling album? I don't care for it. And
60 million sold.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
That's why analytics are important.
Very
That's
important.
why marketing is important.
Very important. Definitely pay attention to your analytics. And nowadays, there's no excuse not to. Like any artist I work with, any artist who is out there making music, you got to know. There's no reason not to know your analytics. Every single website that you post any type of content for has its own analytics page. And if it doesn't, it has some integrated software through Google or United Masters, TuneCore if you're making music, DistroKid, all of these different places that allow you to upload music no matter where you're at. They have analytics for you. So there's no excuse for you not to know your analytics and not to know who is listening to your content. You gotta know
and when.
It is. And, right.
I mean, that's the thing. Like even doing videos with my grandson, find out what time of the day, which day of the week is the best to post it.
Right.
Who's watching them too? Because then you can look at that and because then you can figure out, well, if women this age, what platform do they usually use? Because like we learned about that in marketing class. Mm-hmm. There's a website you can go and actually look, and it'll tell you what demographics use which platform. So then you can actually look at your analytics and say, oh, well, then I'm going to start posting more on Facebook, or I'm going to start posting more on Blue Sky, or I'm going to post more on TikTok on these days of the week. Right. So there's nothing you can't find out.
Nothing. Right. You get analytics just on your Facebook messages.
Yeah.
Like you get it's just a part of everything now. You can't go without it. So
no, they're tracking us.
Yeah,
they're tracking everything we do.
Everything you do.
Use it to your advantage.
100%.
Come on, they're doing all the hard work for you, figuring out who, what, where, and when.
Imagine and this is kind of it's kind of a side note, but it's like on marketing. Imagine how well these systems market to us through the analytics and the algorithms they use by knowing all of the information that we give them. Imagine how much control we would have over our own lives if we understood the information the same way they did.
Yep.
If we understood all of the content that we're digesting and all of the effects that it's having on us, and not even on the level of like, oh, I need to change my life. Just on the level of like, dang, I watched 12,000 hours of Joe Rogan podcasts. Like it just, if you just knew that.
Yeah, like, so, sometimes you don't need to, that's why I'm glad they don't have like the Spotify wrap up for that year. I'm glad like Netflix and Tubi doesn't have that. Because I would feel really bad about myself. I watch trash and way too much of it. I do not need to know those analytics. Analytics can be heartbreaking because you're always going to know the truth. You're always going to know the truth.
Men lie, women lie. Numbers don't.
Numbers don't. Numbers don't. Neither do toddlers. Neither do toddlers.
True that.
All right. Well, you know what? This has been an awesome first episode. I can't thank you enough. Definitely have to have you back on.
Me,
I think we covered a lot with rebranding, man. I mean, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. You've been a great guest. Do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about real quick?
Honestly, No, I want y'all to be surprised. What I want y'all to do is I want y'all to tune into this podcast right here. This is where y'all need to have all your eyes locked onto. You want to know what I got coming out? Come back here for the next one, and I will be here, and you will hear it, and we're going to be talking about it the whole time. But tune in here. This is where you need to be.
See, numbers don't lie. Toddlers don't lie. Neither does he. Yes, we got to edit that real quick. So, all right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the very first Tunepact podcast. And thank you, Jalil.
No problem. No
man.
problem.
And we will catch you next time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Thank you.